The day before I left for college, someone dragged me into an alley. Right before I died, two options appeared. Option A, go back 1 hour and get one clue about the killer. Option B, go back a full day. I chose A, and then I realized the clue I got was just one tiny thing. A single message that said, the killer is yourself. I was completely blindsided. The killer is me, myself, in that moment. I couldn't help but think the clue was just wrong. How could I have killed myself? Maybe the message meant something else entirely. I couldn't figure it out right then. So I grabbed my phone and called the cops. The killer should still be waiting in that alley. Once the police caught him, I'd figure out what that clue really meant. After talking with the cops, I retraced my exact steps and timing back to that alley. I spotted plainclothes cops nearby pretending to be pedestrians. I took a deep breath and stepped inside. Last time, the second I walked in, someone shoved a hand over my mouth and dragged me in. The killer was quick and clean. I never even got a good look at him before I died. But this time, I walked the whole alley, and not a single person showed up. The lead officer walked over, looking annoyed. "Little girl, where's this killer you were talking about?" We swept the whole area, and there's not a soul out here. I just stood there, totally at a loss. It's not like I could tell him I'd come back from the dead, so I made up something about being followed lately, and being scared something might happen. Our resources are limited. Don't waste our time with made-up stories. I watched them walk away, and I had nothing to say. But at the same time, a deeper fear started creeping through my entire body. The killer was watching me. He knew every move I made. I couldn't stay there any longer. I bolted home as fast as I could. I live on the 3rd floor of a low-income housing complex. Peeling walls and trash-filled hallways, and that's just normal here. But to me, this place is the warmest spot in the entire world, especially when I got to the door and caught that familiar smell of Mom's cooking drifting out. Growing up, my whole world was just Mom, having me wrecked her body, and she lost the ability to have any more kids. My dad, seeing she'd never give him a son, ran off with another woman. Mom worked multiple jobs at once, just to raise me and keep me in school. When other kids had cute dresses and shoes, Mom always found a way to get them for me too. Every time I felt bad for her and said hand-me-downs were totally fine, Mom would always say, "My little yeah already lost her dad. She can't be missing anything else." From years of overworking, Mom looked way older than people her age. But I'd just gotten into Peking University, one of the best schools in the country, with a full tuition waiver. We were so close to finally living a good life. There was no way I was letting myself get killed. With that in my head, I slowly pushed open the door. "Mom, I'm home." But nobody answered. Just the pressure cooker hissing away in the kitchen. A bad feeling hit me out of nowhere. I rushed into the kitchen and let out a long sigh of relief. Mom had fallen asleep slumped over the stove on a stool. Seeing her like that, my eyes started to sting. She'd been grinding all day and still stayed up to cook for me when I got home. I quietly walked over and gently tapped her on the shoulder, but she just went completely limp. Like all the bones had been pulled out of her. One tap and her body crumpled to the floor. Her eyes had already gone still. There was a deep, brutal gash across her throat. Before I could even scream, 2 big hands shot up from behind and clamped over my mouth. Then those familiar options appeared again. Option A, go back 30 minutes and get one clue about the killer. Option B, go back half a day. But this time was different. How far back I could go had been cut in half again. If this kept up, after enough deaths, I'd only be able to go back a few minutes, maybe even just seconds. At that point, respawning would be completely useless. So this time I went with B without hesitation. Only that way would I have enough time to save Mom from the killer. Everything shattered like glass, and when I opened my eyes, I was back 12 hours earlier, 10:30 in the morning. Mom had already left for work. I pulled out my phone, opened the ticketing app, and changed my ticket, the one for tomorrow morning, to this afternoon at 2 p.m. I didn't think the killer would follow us all the way to school, or that he'd dare make a move in Beijing. Since he was probably watching me, I didn't pack any clothes. I just grabbed my ID, documents, and admission letter, hopped on a shared bike, and headed to the hotel where Mom worked. Mom didn't have much education, so she worked as a room cleaner at a hotel. She got paid by the room, 8 yuan per room. To earn more, Mom basically never stopped moving, so it didn't take long. I found her right there, in a hotel hallway mopping the floor. When she saw me, her face lit up in surprise. "Yeah, what are you doing here?" "Mom, the school sent a last-minute notice. I need to check in early. I already changed my ticket to 2 p.m. today. We should head to the station right now." Before she could say anything, I grabbed the mop out of her hands and pulled her toward the exit. "Come on, let's go. I've already got your ID and everything. We'll buy whatever we need when we get there." She had no idea that since I topped the college entrance exam, this whole summer, I'd been tutoring and already made over 100,000 yuan. I was saving it as a surprise. Hadn't told her yet. Mom always spoiled me rotten. Seeing how determined I was, she clocked out and came with me. I flagged down a cab outside the hotel. Once we got in, I watched the car slowly pull onto the road toward the high-speed rail station. The knot in my chest finally started to loosen. The whole ride, I kept turning that clue over and over in my head. The killer is yourself. What could that even mean? I was sitting there with my eyes closed, deep in thought, when Mom's voice snapped me out of it. "This isn't the way to the station. Hey driver, we're locals. Don't try to pull one on us." My eyes snapped open. Outside the window, it wasn't bumper-to-bumper traffic anymore. It was an empty mountain road with no one around. The brakes screeched. The car fishtailed and slammed to a stop in the middle of some bushes. Through the rearview mirror, I caught a glimpse of the driver's cap. and the dark, cold eyes beneath the brim. I hadn't even gotten the words out to tell Mom to run when a sharp blade came straight at me. As my consciousness faded, I thought back to those eyes. They felt familiar somehow. I was desperately trying to remember where I'd seen them when those familiar options popped up again. Option A, go back 15 minutes and get one clue about the killer. Option B, go back 6 hours. I clenched my jaw and picked A. High risk, high reward. I needed more information to figure out who this killer actually was. Otherwise, with him watching my every move, no amount of respawning would ever be enough. The moment I opened my eyes, I was back in the car. The taxi had already started drifting off the main road, veering toward the mountain path. And me, I looked at the second clue that had just appeared in my head and nearly screamed out loud in horror.